I got a big update this evening from somebody who sent me a message, man. We got a visitor coming. Nicco Marchiol is being disrespected. And I'm going to break down the roster a little bit more tonight. Stick around. Let's have a good night on Locked On West Virginia.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia. Thanks for joining in, guys. Hope you had a great week. Brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Right now, if you turn your TV into an Xbox with Fire TV Stick 4K, no console needed. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to learn more. And thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen. And for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, we talk about your team every single day. Well, I wasn't even sure. I was really racking my brain on what to do a show on tonight because, I've got lotion on my face still. That's horrible. My skin was dry right before the show, and I was like, well, that's horrible, man. That's a bad look. No way around that one. But as you can see, here's the lotion right here. I was trying to I'm on camera. I'm trying to moisturize my skin. There's no way I can get out of this. I might as well just accept it and accept the comments. There's probably going to be screenshots of it. I'll probably be a meme. It'll be the whole thing. That's fine, though. I'm good. I'm good. Those of you listen on podcasts, I had a big streak of lotion on my face. It looked great. There's something about Mary type stuff there. But so anyways, you totally off track here. What a great start to the show. I didn't know what to talk about tonight. So, I got a message tonight from somebody who was, obviously the football team is at a certain level when it comes to numbers. And I think they're starting to be a bit more choosy on who they let in. Not that they weren't before. And, while this player is, in my opinion, got potential to be one of the best players that we've added, there's so many players in that room. So maybe that was the reason it's taken a little longer. I'm not exactly sure, but here's the update. Camden Spida Jones, the Cal tight end, 6'6", 240, 250 pounds, receiving threat, will be visiting West Virginia now. Been waiting to hear back from him about this. He's excited about it. We've been talking for weeks about him possibly joining West Virginia. I think I was the first person on him, but you never know in this day and age. There could have been somebody before me, but we were talking about it, and from what he can recollect, I think it was me that put it out, and then everybody else messaged him and got some intel too. But regardless, that part doesn't really matter. But I'm just trying to say, we've been in contact since the beginning. And, I really believe in the kid. I as you guys know, there are certain players that I gravitate towards that West Virginia reaches out to. I mean, I talk to the vast majority of them, but there are some that I like, and Cam is one of those players. He doesn't have a ton of tape out there, but I'm going to show you guys a little bit more tape tonight that hasn't been shown yet, that hasn't been seen of him, that I'm excited about. And then I'm going to break him down because I think I didn't do a extremely thorough job on his breakdown the first time around because he had been reached out to. So I didn't feel like it was worth a full breakdown yet. But, now that I know that he is going to be visiting at some point, I think next weekend is the date. Now let's do one. So let's share the screen first, just so some of you guys can kind of get familiar with who he is, because this kid is something special, man. And I don't say that lightly, but as far as like a specimen goes, there's not many better um, in our entire portal class, and he's a freshman. So there's a lot to like here. Obviously, he's a power four tight end. He's 6'6", 235 pounds. That's a great start. And then you turn on the tape and you're like, holy smackerel, dude! Like this dude shakes corners out of their shoes. He can, I don't know if he's got a ton of long speed or not. I don't know what his times are. He may be a 4.7 guy, something 4.6 at the best. I don't know. But what he's huge. I mean, look at this hulking dude right here. It's a freshman, by the way. Did I say that? He's a freshman, and he's got great to elite hands, which you'll see here. So first of all, like I do this a lot. This is there. I've got other video. We've all seen this one. If you watch this episode about him, most people have seen this because it's a highlight catch. But I just want you to see this kid should be much quicker, right? He should beat him to the spot inside. But watch the little shimmy he puts on him here as he gets to the inside of him. It's really smooth. Nicely done. And the one-handed grab, thank you very much. There's literally nothing that kid could do about this right here. You've got a 6'6", 240-pound guy running straight at you. Then he jukes you out. They go back shoulder, and he pulls a one-handed catch off on you. Here he is again. Boom, inside, boom, two cuts, right? Cut to get inside the player. This guy's getting abused. This guy, he has the initial cut to get leverage on the route, and then at the top of the route, he cuts it again and presents himself to the quarterback, which I like. But he's a good route runner. I mean, watch this route here. Really nice. Cut and really nice little cut off of that. I'm not saying he's some speed demon, but here's another great cut. And look, the corner gets hands on him, doesn't reroute him, tries to. We looked this kid up on stream last time. He was a starting corner for Cal last year. So this is a big rep for him as a freshman for confidence, right? And watch the route here. Boom, corner does what he's supposed to do. He's got the hand on him, right? Trying to reroute him, trying to mess up this route. And what does Cam do? He's too big. It's not going to work, right? He's just like, get off me. And then, he beats him down the seam. That's what's going to make him such a tough guard, guys, because just look at this specimen here in the slot right here. It should be really hard to guard him. He's quick, as far as inside a phone booth, he's quick. Here he is again here, coming off a kind of a concept that you see out of the spread. So as you can see, he'll jolt, he'll go this way. Nicely done with the timing on it. Not bad. And I mean, he's got some wheels on him. It's not, I don't know. It's hard to gauge his fast because he's so big, but I know he's not slow, but anyways, I like him. I think he would be a great addition to the room, no doubt. And I've got other tape on him as well that we can watch here. But before we do that, let's break him down. So let me get off this screen here so that we can do that because all right. So here's my breakdown for Cam Spida. What's his last name again? Sometimes his last name Jones. That's right. So Cam Spida Jones, 6'6", 235, Pasadena, California. Went to Pasadena High School. He was at Cal last year as a freshman. He's got 4 years of eligibility remaining, which is huge, right? That's a big deal. But his high school stats in 2023, he had almost 50 catches for 615 yards, 7 touchdowns, and averaged 14.5 yards per catch. His junior year, he had a very similar year. For his career, he's got close to 100 balls for 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. That's in 2 years at the high school level, which is really good for a tight end, obviously. He also played defensive end where he had some sacks, some tackles, that kind of thing, but he's a tight end. He was all league first team, all area, honorable mention in 2022. So that would have been like his sophomore year in high school or junior year. In 2023, he was all league first team. 247 Sports Uh, Ryan Smith says he's got a tall, lanky frame with room to add mass. Shows extremely good hands. He's like a suction when he catches the ball, and his body control is great for a big target. Tracks the ball extraordinarily well in the air, especially in the red zone. Needs to improve route running crispness, but he has the frame to develop into a mismatched nightmare at the power four level. Cal getting one of the underrated gems of the 2023 cycle. Really high praise. ESPN had him ranked as a 3-star. ESPN says extremely physical blocker with a high motor, willing to engage at the point of attack, but needs to refine his technique. Above average athleticism for his size, with potential to stretch the field vertically, and if he can refine some of his route running, become an extremely big time nightmare for other defenses. His high school coach said Camden is a leader on and off the field. He's got the size and catch radius to be problem for defenses, and he's only scratched the surfaces of his potential. So, he had 3 catches for 28 yards last year at Cal. I'm not hung up on that, as a true freshman. There's just not many people that get on the field as a true freshman, especially as much development as he needed to have. He was a beanpole coming in. If you go look at his high school tape, I mean, he wasn't small, but he's put on 30 or 40 pounds of muscle. Well, I don't want to say all muscle, but he's put on 30, 40 pounds of good weight. This is a very high upside pickup, right? If you're going to get him. Size and catch radius at 6'6" with long arms. He's a huge target in the passing game. Shows him very willingness to block and engage as an inline blocker. So this is definitely a hybrid tight end, a guy that would turn into possibly an elite run blocking tight end and a good to very good pass catcher, similar like Cole Taylor. I think that's probably like the vein I see him in, somewhere a guy that can get you 30 catches, and be a very big time matchup for you. That's somebody that people have to guard that can own the middle of the field some days, that kind of thing. On the hot piss meter, the transfer portal impact out of 50. Production, obviously I couldn't give him much on production, but I counted his high school tape and gave him a 7.5 out of 10 because his limited college stats due to a small role at Cal. But his high school numbers are really good, over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. So that's good. Fit is an 8.8 out of 10 because, West Virginia is really obviously willing to change things up from Rich Rod's first run and use tight ends in both the passing and the running game. And I think he's got the size and blocking ability to align well with Rich Rod's system. And especially long players like, you look at Grayson Barnes or Greg Ginross, other guys, like he could walk in that room and maybe make a little noise right away. So durability, I think is, no injuries in high school, no injuries in college. So I gave him a solid 8.2 out of 10 for that. And his frame suggests that he's going to be able to handle a very big role if given that, with the physicality of the Big 12 and all that. So leadership and experience, I gave him a 7 out of 10 based on what his coaches said, what the scouts said. Obviously at the college level, he doesn't have a ton of that yet. But I mean, he was a leader in high school. So upside is a 9 out of 10. He's 6'6", he's 235, he's got 4 years of eligibility. God only knows what he could turn into, especially if he stays healthy. He's got the physical tools and room to grow to make him a very high upside / addition for West Virginia's offense, for a total composite score of the hot piss meter of 40.5 out of 50. Right there, 0.5 away from nuclear hot piss. So he's just right there. And I honestly, I was this close to bumping him up to nuclear hot. But I decided just to go with extremely hot piss because I think that's where he's at, right? He's going to be a valuable addition if he comes to West Virginia. He's a huge target. He's developmental, but he's also got enough experience now with a year in college to possibly play. And he can block right away. He could absolutely come in and do that if you need him to. And while he's learning the offense and maybe getting some of the nuances of that out of the way. So appreciate you for joining in, Timothy. Nice to see you again, man. I know you've been struggling with some things. So this is an interesting choice, guys. And want to thank Cam for messaging me this evening and letting me know about that. So that is an update on Cam Jones. Thank you. Up next, guys, let's go to break because I got to be honest, man. Who the hell is Sleeper College Football? They got a big account, and the quarterback rankings they put out today were just absolutely, as Skip Bayless would say, as a 9, as a 10, as a 11, as a 12, because not only do they misspell Nicco Marchiol's name and Nicco, Nicoo, you won't believe where they've got him ranked. Stick around for this. It's embarrassing. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by none other than Amazon Fire TV 4K. And you guys know we love talking about Amazon Fire TV 4K around here because they do it big, bigger than anybody else. And did you know, by the way, that your Fire TV is also an Xbox? I know that's insane. You can turn any TV into a gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No, you don't need a console. You don't need a handheld thing. You just grab your paired controller, which I have right here for show and tell sake. Grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA included, and you're ready to play. You can dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25, Black Ops 6, you want Avowed, hell, you want Oblivion, name it. They got it. What you want to you can go Fortnite if you want to. And as easily as you stream your favorite shows, you can do it with gaming too. It's made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. Endless streaming entertainment and fun. With 4K streaming, guys, more than 1.5 million movies, TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and more. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started today. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller is going to be required here. Available on select devices, including the Fire Stick TV 4K, the Fire TV Stick 4K Max, and Fire TV Cube. It's segment 2. Let's crack a do and get into this next subject, which is just as a 9, as a 10, as 11, as a 12. I wonder how many Skip Bayless fans we have in the comments. Let me know. Do you hate Skip Bayless or do you love him? I love Skip Bayless. I always have. I don't know why. I know that a lot of people hate him. A lot of people don't like how he acts, or, there's just something about the way he loves his teams and the way he's able to debate. I've always admired it. And I'll tell you a quick story about Skip Bayless and me. This is true. Whenever I was in high school, MySpace was out. And he had just come out on a TV show called Cold Pizza. This was before, actually it was called First and 10, I believe. So before they had the big show with Shannon Sharp and all that, they had a show called First and 10 with Dana Jacobson. Sometimes it was Woody Page. Sometimes it was Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen A. and Skip had that chemistry. And so they would come on, they would do 10 topics in the day. They would debate 10 topics, and that was it. Eventually it turns into a whole show, but I was a big fan of the show. Watched it every single day, still watch it. And I messaged Skip Bayless on MySpace back in the day. Told him I wanted to be, just like him someday, and be talk about sports for a living. But at the time I was struggling with some issues, right? I had just started down a path that I shouldn't have gone. And so I was kind of honest with him about that in my message. And he wanted to tell me some very personal things about himself and some messages and some back and forth. This is on MySpace. I would do anything to be able to get back into that profile and find that message, but probably never going to happen. So, but yeah, he was nice enough to message me back then and tell me, a lot about his life and growing up, with an alcoholic dad and the way they grew up and stuff. So, and his brother's actually a celebrity chef. So anyway, whether or not he's what you said in the comments there, Charles, that has nothing to do with sports for me. I just like him as a sportscaster, so I don't do the political stuff very much. I do realize that ESPN is really bad for that right now, so obviously I don't watch them anymore. But anyway, let's move on here. That was just a quick story for you guys. So, you know, Nicco Marchiol has grown on me this offseason. I started out after Jalen Henderson came to West Virginia, and I think I was maybe a little not confirmation bias, recency bias. Watching Jalen's tape, I really do love his tape. I do. I can see why. There's a reason Jalen Henderson went from Fresno State to Texas A&M without playing a game at Fresno. You guys realize that? That's just incredibly rare to go from. I don't know how many times has it ever happened, but in this day and age, people can scout you. People can watch your practices. They can say, "Holy shit, that's a really talented backup," right? And so, in this situation, that must have been what happened with him, and somebody brought him up to Texas A&M, which is a question I plan to ask him on Sunday, as long as he still comes on. By the way, if you want to contribute to the NIL for that, I still haven't worked that out yet. I've had one or two people message me, but if you would like to see me interview Jalen Henderson, um, you know, I'll be dropping a PayPal. It's we'll talk about it another time. We'll do it tomorrow. I'll set a specific time up for it or something, but we're gonna try to get it worked out. It's only probably a couple $100, I think, is the speaking fee. So it's not anything crazy like what I gave Tucker DeVries when I didn't know better. But anyways, so he's talented though. So, but anyway, his tape was good. Texas A&M was really good. He's very shifty. He's not, I will say he's not slow, but he's definitely not a burner. And I just think he weaves in and out really well, and he'd be great for that read option, of course. And I think I was a little just recency bias, watching that tape, and forgot what we had right here at home in Nicco. And while I still think that it's any man's race, I really do. A lot of people think Nicco is going to win it by default. I don't think so. I think whoever plays best will win this, but maybe Nicco has a slight upper hand, because he's from here, he's been here, but they have both learned the same offense at the same rate. So I don't know. But anyway, so today on X, I saw a list come out with Nicco's name on it, and I was like, okay, what's this all about? And it's about enough that this ranking has him at 15. What's even worse is that they still haven't fixed his name, Nicco, Nicoo Marchiol. And I'm looking at all the other names. Sam Levitt's right. Jake Retzloff is right. Rocco Becht is right. Connor Weigman is right, which is hilarious, him at number 4, which he's talented, but I can't get over his accent. If you ever heard Connor Weigman talk, he talks like the guy from Malibu's Most Wanted. He really does. It's almost like he must have grew up in the hood or something. I don't know. Avery Johnson, that's right. Josh Hoover's right. Jalen Daniels, that's spelled right. That's even a funny way to spell Jalen, right? But that's right. Devin Dampier's right. What about Hoss Haney? Yeah, that's a tough name to spell. Not easy. It's right. Sawyer Robinson is right. Kaiden Salter, Juju Lewis. I'm assuming those are right. I can't say for sure, but they look right. Caden Salter. Yeah, that's Josh. I didn't realize they had him. It's a good pickup. Noah Pepita still in Arizona, believe it or not. Hard to believe he didn't get poached. Baron Morton is right. Brennan Sorsby's right. Taven Jackson is right, but Nicco Marchiol is wrong. Now, is it easy to just, it's not like his name is, it's 2 C's instead of 2 O's, but I just think that, it's almost like they're engagement farming with this post. A fairly sizable account, 13.3K. It's not, I wouldn't say that they're, big game boomer or anything, but I mean, they've got a pretty good size following. This has done 260K views. So it's got traction, right? 100 reposts, 500 likes, 124 comments. So it's got legit traction and people have opinions on it. And you have Nicco Marchiol 15th on this list. And I just have a big problem with that. So I'm going to redo the list. Um, you know, I don't have a problem with Sam Levitt at number one, but I think you're disrespecting the hell out of Avery Johnson here, guys. Truly. Let's go to break really quick. It came up on me really fast. And we'll continue with this right after the break. Sorry about this. We'll be right back. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Monarch Money. You ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. Well, that's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO giving you full visibility over and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial control center where you can track your accounts, investments, spending all in one convenient place. So you just stop managing your money and start building your wealth. Easier said than done. You need help. You want some all-in-one convenience? Well, how about instead of juggling multiple apps, use Monarch Money to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. You can have easy collaboration with your partner. Manage your money with them is going to be smoother than ever. You can track shared personal accounts, set goals, stay on the same page without the stress, man. Take control of your finances today with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for 50% off your very first year. All right, guys, we are back here, Locked On West Virginia, segment 3, talking Nicco, talking Big 12 quarterbacks. And this ridiculous list that's been put out that's gained all this traction is a shit can list, right? How's Caden Salter at number 11? I don't know. I'm just a big fan of his. Avery Johnson, number 5, is controversial. If Jalen Daniels is healthy, I understand he had a step back year last year, but he got hot down the stretch. I could see him higher on the list. Devin Dampier is one of those ones that could be really high up there as well. Hoss Haney, guys, I'm not going to lie. I wanted him bad when he left. Bad. Really bad. I wanted him really, really bad. I mean, he's a 4-4 guy at the quarterback spot. I mean, he can absolute flat out fly. And don't be shocked if he's the best quarterback in the league this year. I'm not kidding. Have you ever seen a Hoss Haney highlight before or any film on him? It's insane. He's very similar to I don't even know what you're comparing to, really. Maybe the kid that was at TCU a few years ago that took him to the national championship game. I mean, he's got that kind of speed. It's long speed. It's I'm gone. It's like Kyler Murray. Like if I get out in the open field with this, I'm gone. Lamar Jackson-esque. I don't know if he's quite that fast, but he's in that 4.5-ish range for sure. And he can toss it. Hoss Haney's got a chance. I mean, he hasn't had any snaps, so I'm okay with number 9 for him. But I'm just saying, don't be shocked if he doesn't take the league by storm. That's just my 2 cents. Sawyer Robinson's a good player. He's not a bad player. Caden Salter's got a chance to be really, really good. And Colorado's got talent. They've got continuity now. I mean, he's going to step in right there for Shedeur and really coming into a pretty good spot, for all the criticism that Shedeur Sanders has gotten, and rightfully so. The quarterback spot's in a really good position, right? I mean, Shedeur played really good for them. You can't debate that. So Caden Salter coming into a good spot there. Noah Fafita could be as high as top 3, or he could stay where he's at. Like there's a bunch of guys like that on this list. Noah Fafita in 2023. Well, he's up there, right? Baron Morton is another guy. I mean, this is a real like guys. Look at this list of quarterbacks. There's really not a terrible one on the list until you get down to. I mean, can you even say Brennan Sorsby's terrible? Let's look at what did Brennan Sorsby do last year? Didn't he have a good year? Hold on, I could be wrong. Let me just make sure really quick, but I thought he did. I thought he had a good year for them. So he had 2,800 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 picks. Along with, thought he had some rushing yards as well. Although I'm not seeing it. Let's see, rushing. There it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He had a bunch of rushing yards. Okay. So he had, not seeing it here. Let's see here. All the games. We'll just do them by individually, I guess. So looks like, I mean, he had some big games. He had 143 rushing yards against Iowa State. He had 100 yards versus TCU. You know, he had a bunch of 50. He had a couple 48, 48, 26, 52. But, I mean, you see here, that's 150. That's 250, 350, 390. You know, close somewhere between 400 and 500 rushing yards last year. So you add that into the what was it? 2,800 yards. That gives him close to 3,500. That gets him 35. Well, not quite. 3,300, 3,400 yards overall. Not bad. I mean, you could see upside there. No, I don't know how he's 14, really. I mean, over a guy like maybe I don't know. It's really hard to rank, isn't it? So, but I'm going to do something here. I do think Nicco, as far as preseason lists go, is better than 15. He's undefeated as a starter. He's going to be in a Rich Rod offense. It's going to, I mean, come hell or high water, they're going to surround him with a bunch of talent. So we got more talent on offense now than we've ever had in the last 6 years. As long as you don't count offensive line, because what we had on the offensive line it was the all-time best individual players. And that 2023 O-line was like, holy crap, it's such a good O-line. Unfortunately, the schedule was so weak. It's hard to say, man, but so here's what I'm going to do. I don't have it in front of me to do to make another list and start typing out names, but I'll do this. So I'm okay with the top 3, really. I mean, I'm okay with it. Levitt's really good. Retzloff is really good, which I predicted. You can go back to the video and watch it. Which he played against us in his first start, and I went on afterwards and said he's going to be really good. It was obvious to me, but Rocco Becht obviously has had a great year. I don't have a problem with him being at 3. Connor Weigman, I understand it. He's got a lot of upside. He's definitely talented. I don't have him at 4. I'd put him at 8 and slide Avery Johnson up to 4 to 4. And Jelon Daniels up to 5. And then I could see Hoover staying at 6, I guess. But I would have Weigman at 7. Then I would have Nicco at 8. Give me Nicco at 8. I think he's absolutely one of the best 8. If he starts, I have no problem with him being there, man. Who's better than him on this side of the list? Like, okay, Jalen Daniels has done a ton in his career. Josh Hoover is going to possibly be a first-round pick by the time it's all said and done. Like, he's so talented Avery Johnson might be the best quarterback in the league, especially if he turns it around this year. Connor Weigman, I mean, his Texas A&M stuff was really good at times. Rocco Becht, we know what kind of stud he is. Jake Retzloff, I mean, they only went to the playoff last year, and so did Arizona State and Sam Levitt, or at least almost. I don't know if they were like, well, almost there, or did they go? I can't remember now. So, you know, Hoss Haney, I mean, look, maybe I'll give him 8 and Nicco 9, but I mean, you know, outside of that, Caden Salter too, though. It's really hard. It's really hard, you know. Without, I'll tell you what, I'll still take Nicco at 9. Let's at least put him at 9. And I can see, you know, if I had more time, I would probably move Caden Salter into Weigman's spot and Weigman back down more because I'm just not a huge believer in him. Curious what you guys think, though. It's a tough list to do, actually. With the names that are in there, I didn't realize, you know, going into it, it's easier said than done. And, you know, to be fair from, you know, just from being fair kind of point of view, yeah, I mean, no matter who you do the list on, there's going to be somebody who's mad about it, right? So I understand why people, you know, here I am making a video talking about it. So, you know, I just think 14 is too low for Nicco, but he's such an unknown that it's going to be like that. But we'll see what happens with it. I think it's going to be the Big 12 is so interesting, guys. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about your team every single day. Big news tonight with the tight end. Obviously, he's going to be visiting this next week. The commitment is, you know, obviously another deal altogether, but I would feel good about it if I were you. Let's just say that. Like really good. But obviously he's got to get down here. They got to make sure they got a spot and all that. But as long as all that happens, there's another big 6'6", 250-pound tight end on the roster. Can't ever have too many of those. So that's a big deal. Obviously, we talked about Nicco, and I think we talked about Skip Bayless a little bit too. But yeah, after the first 3 or 4, it's really a toss-up, Mike. You're right. Like the video before you go, please. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and absolutely share the video out for me, please. If you can just click share down below, copy and paste the link into a X, either on like Twitter or X, Facebook, you know, Instagram, somewhere like that, to your followers or wherever. That's the best way to help this show. The last 2 times I've asked, not one person's done it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop asking. So if you just have a minute, you know, it takes sometimes 30 seconds to do. If you have time to just copy and paste the link and then share it out, it would really help me a lot. It's the best way to help me. So, you know, and that's just the fact, you know, like the way the algorithm works with YouTube, you know, likes and shares matter a lot. Put a lot of stock into it. So in order for me to grow, that's going to happen. So I appreciate you guys for joining in. It's been fun. We go 7 days a week around here. If you didn't know that, got a Discord server as well if you want to join. But until then, guys, I don't have much else going on. We should be back tomorrow. I may take a day off this week. I'm not sure. Depends on how I'm feeling. I haven't been feeling the greatest. I'm going to be honest. I slept almost all day. So not feeling the greatest is like an understatement. Like I've been feeling really bad. So it's unfortunate, but we'll talk about it another time. See what happens with all this. But I really do appreciate you guys. And I think that's it. I don't have any other news. I've seen a couple things out there, but you know, obviously we talked about the running back transfer coming in, Sincere Bowser. He's also visiting at some point. We saw Duke Miles from Oklahoma. They'd reached out to. Haven't heard anything extra about that. I don't know if he's already committed somewhere today or not, but you know, looked like there was some promise there at first, but we'll have to keep an eye on it, guys. And that's all I got. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, most likely. If not, I'll see you Sunday for sure. but I highly doubt that I won't do an episode. It's just hard for me to not do one. So have a great evening, guys, and make sure you have a great weekend. Tell your family you love them, and I'll see you then, guys. I'm out of here.